Dad, isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty and Big Bri.
But Dad,
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into another Tuesday edition of Illegal Ham to the Face here at Ham Illegal and on Network 216. Big Bri, what's going on, my brother?
Not a whole lot. Living the dream, my friend.
I was expecting that when we hit a couple 70s last week, that it would kind of stay the course. Bri, it was bone chilling.
No way.
Today. No bueno. That was
frost on the car.
Today.
I know that.
And it's going to be colder tomorrow, so buckle up, Buttercup. It's not going to be a pleasant one. Welcome on into our show tonight. We're going to dive into the Browns talk, sign a couple free agents, also start talking draft because we are less than 30 days away, I believe now, Bri.
That's right, about a month.
We'll talk that. We will talk guards because baseball starts this week. Yes, Lamar, we have that news. We will be breaking that here in just a second and see what that means for the Browns. Also, we will be diving into our top 3 action stars. If we were going to be the producer, director, what top 3 action stars that we want. Bri, I did not write down a Fat Boy Tuesday, but I want to get into something because my wife downstairs has brought to me waffle cones, all right, because she's been having a hankering for some waffle cones. So we might be talking some waffle cones and ice cream cones tonight. You down with that?
Always. Absolutely.
All right. And other than that, Bri, our show's brought to you by Hero Kill Lake Erie, PA, and also City Dogs Cleveland. It is your turn for trivia tonight. I do have a new dog here to showcase and show off. So, Bri, let's get the show started like we always do. Bri, you got any shout-outs this week, my brother?
Let's see. I guess the only one I had was my brother and his family are in the Ozarks for spring break. So I got a text message late on Sunday night from my sister-in-law saying I better shout her out on the podcast. So here's to you guys. Hope you're having a great time. I got a picture today of my brother wearing his Illegal Ham to the Face t-shirt. So he's representing down there in, I think it's Missouri is where they're at. Yeah, sounds like they're having a good time. I'm sure the weather's a little bit nicer than it is up here. But yeah, that's it. That's it for my shout outs.
God, I'd hope so. I got to shout out our boy John Gardina, birthday this week, big 4-3.
Oh yeah.
So
John,
happy birthday, John. And that's pretty much it on my end until next week, because next week is when we start April, and that's when birthdays start flying in my family. So other than that, got nothing else to shout out, bud. Let's get this show started. Let's get this show hammering. And Bri, let's start out with what we always do with our trivia right at the beginning of the show. Here we go. Our trivia is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. And Bri, do we have a puppy for you tonight? His name is Snoopy, bud. Now take a look at this bundle of joy. He is a 10-month-old, Bri. Take a look at that face. You cannot go wrong with this dog. He is a playful pup available for adoption at City Dogs Cleveland. And my God, he is look at that. I might have to go adopt this dog, Bri.
it's cute, very cute.
Heck yeah. So if you can, please go help out a city dog and adopt. But if you cannot adopt, volunteer, donate, whatever you could do for City Dogs Cleveland. Also, they will be having their marathon coming up in June, or their 5K coming up in June, into May, June. I'll get the date on that one for sure. Go help them out, please. Near and dear to our heart. We've been part of us since we've started this show and can't thank them enough. So please help out a City Dog from Cleveland. Bri, what do you got for me for trivia tonight, brother?
I have some college basketball trivia for you.
Christian
And
Laettner.
it is ballpark, Christian Laettner. I'm looking for teams. The team that has the most tournament wins in the NCAA men's tournament. So I believe this is before this tournament started.
Okay.
So it may have, to give you a hint, it may have changed. One team may have surpassed the top team. So there's two teams that are real close to the top. If you get either one of them, I'll give it to you.
All right. Justin, I know it's nowhere near a marathon. I backtracked. I know it's a fatty fail. Jeez, man.
A little different. Different than a marathon.
Man. Well, Bri, I don't see Chris's name in here yet, but we still got to play it because it's time to get in our show and get into some Cleveland headlines. All right, your Cleveland headlines start out tonight, and I will bring up the comment from Lamar. Russell Wilson, who was supposed to come to the Browns, is now signed with the Giants. That means the Giants now have Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. Does that mean they take a quarterback at 3? We will find out. Lamar said, he goes, it doesn't sound like they're drafting a quarterback at 3. So I bet with this move, depending on if their quarterback's at 3, I think they will take him at 3 because you got 2 really good veterans there. Well, 1.5. I've heard of rumors about Russell Wilson and how much of a diva he is, but you got some veteran leadership there that you kind of learn from. So yeah, I think that would be a great move, but this is almost sounding like they're realizing they're not going to get a quarterback at 3 and they're going to try to pick one up later and develop him. So whether it be a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round pick, it's kind of sounding like what they're doing. They're probably going to have Russell start and then have Jameis back up Russell and see from there, or have them compete for it. But Brian, that does change some things for the Browns because, it was rumored that Russell was here, everything else. I mean, should that change a lot for the Browns?
It's hard to say. It depends on what their thoughts on Russell Wilson were. Were they seriously considering him to bring him in and have him as a starter? Or, was he just something to throw the Falcons off the scent that we really want Kirk Cousins? I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know. But this definitely changes. I don't know if it changes a whole lot for the Browns, but it just gets you wondering what the Giants are thinking. Like, are they either they're not sold on Shador? Because I have a hard time believing that they would sign Russell Wilson if they were pretty confident they were going to draft Shador Sanders. So which is it? Do they not think he's going to be available at 3? Or are they just not sold on him? And even if he was there, they weren't going to take him. I don't know. I guess time will tell. But yeah, at this point, I'd be surprised if they draft Shador, unless he falls to the 2nd round or something, and they just can't help but take him because you have 2 capable quarterbacks now, and most teams don't really carry 3, especially 3 capable quarterbacks. You might have a reclamation project or a late round draft pick as your 3rd guy, but yeah, I can't imagine. The only way I can see them, with 3 quarterbacks is if they were looking to trade one, maybe in training camp, and try to get rid of maybe if they draft a Shador Sanders, trying to get rid of a Jameis Winston. But it just comes back to, well, that wouldn't make sense, really. Why would they, if they thought that they were going to get Shador Sanders, why would they sign both these guys? So yeah, I don't know. It's confusing to me. The only thing I can think is they don't think they're getting a quarterback at 3. But what does that mean?
And that's where we're at right now because, Bri, I mean, we've had multiple mocks, model reports. I mean, we're 30, we're a month away from the draft, and it's just getting crazier and crazier. There's people having us take Travis Hunter at number 2. There's people, we're taking the Penn State edge, Abdul Carter at 2. A lot of mocks and everything I've seen have got Shador dropping down to like late first round. And it just seems crazy to me that that's happening. So I don't know what to believe right now, Bri. But, they always brought up, like the Bo Nix situation. Like, if you feel comfortable drafting Bo Nix at 2, I mean, that's kind of like the comp of what's going on with Shador right now is he is like a Bo Nix. So he is a good quarterback, but would you want to draft that at 2? And that's the kind of question that we got to talk to ourselves about as Browns fans because we don't know. We don't know what they see. We're not at the, pro days. We're not at the scouts checking everything else. Brian, both you and I agree that with his dad, everything else, he's got a good head on him, especially, football IQ wise. At least he should. But, arm talent is kind of mediocre. A lot of drop downs, not a lot of deep passes. I don't know. I'm still not sold on Cam Ward or Shador right now. But, quarterbacks drive this league, Bri. And if the Titans are going to take Cam Ward number 2, Bri, what do? Do we reach? I mean, that's where we're at now. If we have to reach for Shador because he's the quarterback, do you feel comfortable reaching? Or would you take the best person available at number 2 and try to piece it together later on?
Yeah, me personally, I'd take the best player available at 2. But in fairness, my job is not on the line. And I think that's what it comes down to really is what is the Browns' perspective? How important is the 2025 season to the Cleveland Browns? Now, if they think Shador Sanders is the second best prospect in this draft and he's more than deserving to go at 2, then yeah, absolutely go snatch him up. But it doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of franchises out there that even think he's a top 5 or a top 10 prospect. And I know quarterbacks carry a different weight than every other position, but yeah, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of like playing the stock market. Shador Sanders, your stock is pretty good right now, and you have them in your back pocket. You can cash out, you can get out of the game, you can just take Shador Sanders at 2, and you got your franchise quarterback. Or do you wait until next year's draft, hope that you get a better prospect than Shador Sanders? Because we don't know. We think the quarterback class is better. But even if the quarterback class is better next year, there's no guarantee you're going to have a chance at drafting some of these guys. You might shock the world, and we might end up 9-8 or 8-9 or something, and we're picking 17th in the draft. And we don't have a prayer at taking some of the top guys. So that's a question they have to answer. That's why they give you several months to really figure it out. I just hope they're very solid in their conviction of what Shador Sanders is. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It seems like every time we do this show, we only do it once a week. So every time we do this show, there's a different guy that is being talked about as the Browns are. Oh yeah, everyone's mocking this guy to the Browns this week. This week it's Abdul Carter. People are talking about, well, have you just reserved to the fact that we're taking Abdul Carter? And last week it was Shador Sanders, and next week it'll probably be Travis Hunter, and then it'll probably go back around a couple times to where, you wonder if the media is just messing with us, like toying with our emotions, like just to make it a talking point rather than just, if it was just Shador Sanders this whole time, we wouldn't have a whole lot to talk about. But I don't know. I was going to ask you, and we got into it a little bit last week, hold your feet to the fire. You're staying at 2. Who are you taking?
right now for me, Bri, and with everything that's coming out, if I have to pick it too and I can't trade out of it, I'm
Yep.
still going to go with Abdul Carter. I
Me
just
too. That's where I'm at.
I'm not sold on Travis Hunter. And yes, Travis Hunter, a great athlete and a Heisman Trophy winner, and I still have questions about Travis Hunter. I don't know what they are. I don't know if it's because of his size. I don't know if it's because he wants to play both ways and cornerback and wide receiver. I don't know what it is about Travis Hunter that has got me hung up right now on this question mark of him. Like, he could be great, Bri. He could be great. But I've also seen guys with his size come in here and not be able to do what they do. And either A, get hurt or have an injury plagued season. I'm not saying that Abdul Carter it will not have that, but with his speed on the outside, something to go along with Myles Garrett. Also, Myles Garrett can teach. I think it'd be almost a home run, and that would completely, I wouldn't say solidify your defense, Bri, but it would make your defense a lot more better to have that. And then you could start piecing together the offense. I know the offense is where we are seriously have problems, especially with the 32 ranked in the NFL, with all the rushing, everything else. We were not good last year. But other than a quarterback, I don't have another weapon here, a wide receiver, anything else that just screams at me not to take at number 2. Now, if we trade back, yeah, I would snatch up a wide receiver or, whatever we trade back to. That's when I would start looking. But if you got Abdul Carter right there, Bri, I think you have to take him. And if they feel that strong about Shador, I would be okay with it because they need a quarterback. But I don't want them to reach because they have to reach. You know what I mean? Like we've reached before. I mean, we've reached a lot of Brandon Whedon, reach. Johnny Manziel, reach. Brady Quinn, reach. Like there's been a lot of reaches that we've been doing as Browns fans and Browns teams and Browns GMs that I'm tired of reaching. And, if you look like the great teams that come in, Bri, they take the people that they need to take at that pick and don't reach.
Yeah, I'm with you with the Abdul Carter. I think I hate to use this because if he sucks, then nobody's safe. But I feel like he's the safest pick. Shador Sanders. There's a lot of up and down. Now he could be great. He could be terrible. But I just have a hard time making that big of a commitment because it's a bigger commitment to a quarterback than it is any other position. You draft a quarterback at 2, he's your guy probably for 3 years, like we've seen in the past. So I feel like Abdul Carter, can't imagine he's going to be a total bust. He'll at least be able to hang around, I would think, for most of his rookie contract. And I also, like we talk a lot, is it's a copycat league. And what have we seen that beat these elite quarterbacks that we talked last week about, who you happen to have 2 in your own division in Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow? What beats them? Getting pressure on them with only 4 guys without having to blitz. So maybe it's time for the Browns to zig when everybody else is zagging. Everybody's taking quarterbacks. You have one Hall of Famer on one side and another guy who's, from what we've heard up to this point, is an elite prospect. And I know the weight has been brought up about Abdul Carter. You can always put on weight in the NFL. I'm not too concerned about that, and I don't think that would prevent us from taking him because he puts on 10, 15 pounds. It's not going to be in a year, but eventually he'll be fine. And I also think about something that came up today is just and what the Browns have to consider as well is the timeline going forward and how salaries line up and everything. Like we hear it a lot. You have a window when your quarterback is on a rookie deal. That's your window to go out and win a Super Bowl. And I know we seem like a long ways away from a Super Bowl, but But you basically, if you take him in the first round, you have 5 years. So you have 4 years, and then you have the team option for a 5th year. So you have a 5-year window of trying to win a Super Bowl. And I feel like we should build up our team and get our team around the quarterback to a great level before we just insert a quarterback now. Like, I feel like if we take a quarterback now, we're going to be wasting one of his 5 years because we're not ready to win right now. So, and also the timeline lines up to where we have Myles Garrett under contract for the next 6 years. And so if you take a quarterback now, you give him 5 years where you don't have to pay him a whole lot. You're going to have that 1 year overlap where you're paying Myles Garrett $40 million and you're going to have to pay what we would hope to be a franchise quarterback, probably at that point, $70 million. So if you wait and you draft him next year, you get him 5 years cheap. By the time that 5th year comes and you have to start paying your franchise quarterback, Myles Garrett deal, the $40 million he's making is off the books. So then you can just kind of redirect it to what kind of contract you would give a franchise quarterback. And I know that's kind of nerdy stuff. That's not really anything to make a decision about. But I think you have to consider that, on top of every other thing. If you, like I said, to start this argument, if you're sold on Shedeur Sanders and you think he's the guy, he's a franchise quarterback, no doubt about it, you take him. But if you're a little concerned about, well, he might not have it, he's just kind of pretty good for this draft class, then why force it? We don't need, hopefully they're comfortable enough in their job security to where they don't feel like they have to win this year. And, it's just a lot goes into it. Are you worried about the short term or are you worried about the long term? And I think the long term play is to start building up your team to where once you do find your franchise quarterback, he's supported, unlike Tim Couch was, unlike even Baker Mayfield. When we drafted him, we were 0-16. So they kind of grew together. But I'd feel better if we were in a position more like the Niners, San Francisco Niners, where we had a strong core of offensive line, defensive line, playmakers, and then you just plug in a quarterback when you can. But yeah, it's just big picture talk, kind of getting away from just thinking about this draft and just thinking about this number 2 pick.
Yeah, and as you're looking through, right? I mean, we have 4 picks right now in the top 100, and that's kind of where you need to build your draft. Is those first 4 picks? Those you need to hit on your first and second round pick, of course, because you're pretty much your second round pick is a first round pick. I don't care what people say. It's like, oh no, you got the very next pick after everything. That is a first round pick coming in, so you need that pick to hit. So technically 2 first-round picks, 2 third-round picks. You need to hit on these, Brian. Like you said, if you could build this team up and get people in place where you need to, where we do have veterans sprinkled in, where we do have young guys that are starting to flourish and contribute like Judy did at the end of the year. And I still don't think Judy would be our number 1 wide receiver, even though they will have him that way. I still think we need another wide receiver in here, which I'm still shocked they haven't got free agency yet, Brian, with all the wide receivers that are out there still. And we'll dive into that next week. We'll get into some Browns free agency talk next week and see what's left and what you want. But Brian, there's still, you sit there and talk about quarterbacks, draft class, everything else, right? Like, this draft class was actually supposed to be really good. You had Quinn Ewers, who was supposed to be elite of elite. I mean, you had Dylan Gabriel, who's done great wherever he's played at. Like, it was supposed to be a good draft class, but now it just seems like it's not. Is there any quarterback after the top 2 that you're intrigued by that you would like to maybe take a chance on for the Browns in one of those picks?
I don't know if there's anybody I'm really intrigued by. If Jackson Dart fell to you in the second round, I'd be a little intrigued just because we hear that he's the 3rd best quarterback. And so if you can get him at the top of the second round, I maybe think about that. I haven't really looked into really what he's done at Ole Miss. I remember it seems like he's been there forever. I've known his name for a couple years, but then the physical tools that Milrow has, I think, is enticing. Like he has an elite skill set as an athlete. Does that translate to him being a great quarterback? Who knows? He's going to have to need. He could go one of two ways. He could be Lamar Jackson or he could be Justin Fields. Those are two guys with elite traits athletically. So, he's kind of a lottery ticket as well. I probably wouldn't feel great about drafting him at 33. Like you said, it's basically a first round pick to take a lottery ticket at the first round. I'm not great. I'm not feeling great about that. Just because this team needs so much. But in the third or fourth round or something, I would think about it. And also, even taking a quarterback at 33, it's not the same thing as taking him at 2. If you take him at 2, like I said, I feel like you're contributing or committing to him for 3 years. And if you take him at 33, we saw with DeShone Kizer, he was a second round pick, top of the second round. Nobody said, "Oh, this." Yeah, but I'm saying as far as the commitment to DeShone Kizer, nobody said like, "Oh, we took DeShone Kizer in the second round. He's our quarterback going forward. Let's just plug him in and go with him." And we can't even think about drafting a quarterback the next year because we got DeShone Kizer. We've committed so much to him. No, it's not the case. So that's why I would feel more comfortable drafting him later in the draft, second round. I don't know if anybody's going to be there that's really going to be worth taking them at 33. So I think maybe some of these quarterbacks might get pushed up in the first round. So then you're waiting until the third round. And at that point, it's almost like a lottery ticket. You might be drafting the best guy for your system or a guy that you really like, that you feel like you can develop. But by no means are you committing anything to him. And I think, in a perfect world, I think that's what you would do. I think it would be find one of these guys that you love in the third or fourth round, and you just you take this year to try to develop him. And if you find out that, hey, we have a Dak Prescott here, or we have a Russell Wilson here, and they could turn into our franchise quarterback, then great. If not, that doesn't deter you from drafting one in 2026 in the first round.
I think what Browns fans need for that to happen and not clamor about it, Bri, is a true veteran in the building. And I'm not saying that Kenny Pickett's not a veteran. Kenny Pickett's been in the league now long enough, but it's Kenny Pickett. Like if you sign a true veteran, like if Kirk Cousins, they trade for Kirk Cousins and he does come in. Like if you have a veteran here, I think that will soften the blow on that third or fourth round pick. I think it will. But if you don't have a veteran in here and you just got Kenny Pickett and then one of these kids that you drafted in the third round, Bri, we both know Browns fans. They're going to be like, I don't want Kenny Pickett. Throw that kid in there. He should be ready. Throw him in there. And then we're going to do this all over again of rushing the quarterback that doesn't need to be rushed or play them when they are not ready to play DeShone Kizer and just run them through the mud. And I don't want that. I think if they get a veteran quarterback, it'll be easier to take a third or fourth round pick and let that person sit and develop and do whatever you need to do. But if you do not have that veteran quarterback, you cannot draft a third or fourth round pick and just have Kenny Pickett and this guy right now. Because if you do that, it's, Brian, dare I say, Pandora's box. We'd be repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again.
Yeah, I would just be fascinated to hear what the Browns are feeling at this moment right now. Do they still because they're going to always give off the persona and tell all the reporters that this is part of the process. This is our plan the whole time. But what's really going on? Are they panicking? Oh crap! Russell Wilson went to the Giants. Son of a.
You never know.
Or do they still feel like, okay, things are still going well for us? Because I think it came out. I heard something yesterday or the other day that that Kirk Cousins is willing to waive his no trade clause, but he wants to wait until after the draft because he doesn't want to get screwed by
Like he
going
did when
to a
he went,
team.
like he did
Yeah,
when he went to Atlanta.
like choosing to go to Cleveland, and then all of a sudden Cleveland drafts Shador Sanders at 2, and I'm an afterthought again. So like he wants to wait and go to a place where he feels like he will be the starter rather than just a placeholder for a couple weeks until the rookie's ready to go. So maybe that's still in the Browns' plan as well. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know. But I just urge Browns fans to not freak out. It'll be fine. Every year in the NFL, there's a couple teams that are just kind of, staying afloat, trying to win still, but understanding that they're not going to win the Super Bowl or be contenders or anything. And you just wait until the next year's draft to start building your team to, start winning some games. So if that's the Browns this year, then like they say, we're going to have to eat a green one. But I would much rather draft the right quarterback than force one, and then we waste 3 years until we start thinking about drafting a quarterback again. So
Agree with
I don't
that
know.
one.
Yeah.
Agree with that one, Brian. I don't want to force it. I don't want them to panic. I don't want them to be like, oh, crap, we need to do this. I don't want any of that. I want them to be set and ready to go. Brian, we do have breaking news. Per Adam Schefter, Stephon Diggs and the Patriots are reaching a 3-year, $69 million deal. So there's a wide receiver heading to the New England Patriots. And
big money. Wow.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. They're stacking up pretty good teams so far over there, or at least trying to.
AFC gets stronger. Of course, you went from one AFC team to another AFC team. So,
oh my God, I wonder if I forgot they get to play the Bills. You think he's just going to want to own it on the Bills?
Oh, I'm sure. But to be honest, that's a lot for a guy. What do you have? Do you have an ACL? Is he coming off an ACL or something? This past year, and he's getting older, man. He's got to be. He might be on the other side of 30. So to pay that kind of money for a guy that's coming off injury, other side of 30, and to give him 3 years, $20 million, it's. I don't know. That to me, that screams like a move that a team would make that's trying to win right away. And I don't know if the Patriots are ready to do that.
Well, they think they have their quarterback. He's 31, Bri.
31. So yeah. So
he'll be turning 32 in November. So they just signed him for until he's 35, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if they think they haven't had a wide receiver there, and gosh, probably since Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
I mean, Edelman. They had Edelman and Gronk, and they were fine. Gronk was great, but Edelman kind of got the most out of his talent. But they haven't had a Pro Bowl superstar receiver probably since Moss.
Didn't they? No. Who did they have last year that I thought?
Oh, they had nobody last year.
No, I remember now. No, they
not Demario Davis. They had some rookie that I picked up in fantasy, and he might have got 50 yards twice.
Yeah, not good for you. All right, Brian, let's switch it over. We'll pick back up on the Browns next week. Let's switch it over to the Guardians as they get ready to start here and have some fun, Bri. Tanner Bybee just got extended by your Cleveland Guardians. He is going to be paid up until 2030, and he gets a club option then. So we locked up a pitcher long term, and he's only 26, I think, Bri. So that's kind of a good thing. What are your thoughts about them locking up Tanner Bybee for a handful of years? And I want to go over this this breakdown of what he's getting paid. So
that's kind of go ahead, because that'll lead into what I was going to say.
All right, so right now this year he'll be getting paid $3.4 million.
Well, what was the contract for?
5 years for 64 million, or no, 5 years, 48 million.
Okay, so that's just over $9 million a year.
Well, hold on. Here we go. So 25, he's getting paid 3.4. 26, 4.4. 27, 7.4. 28, 10.4. 29, 21.4. And then the club option when he turns 31 in 2030 for $21 million. But there is a $1 million buyout on that option. So he is not getting the actual ace money until 4 years from now.
Yeah, that's where, I mean, I heard the news and I was like, all right, great. We signed him. We finally signed one of our guys. And okay, great. It's for 5 million or 5 years. Awesome. But then I hear the money and it's $48 million. I mean, it's great for the Guardians, but like my mind went to, all right, so either he made a terrible deal, which usually baseball players don't because of the baseball union. They get every penny that they're deserved. Or maybe he's just not as good as we think he is. Because he was the ace of the staff last year.
Well, that's only because...
And he only got $9 million?
But that's only because, Bri, that Shane Bieber went down. McKenzie did not do well. And Gavin Williams did not perform the way he should have. So there was 3 guys before him. Now, he did end up being the ace, which he is the starter for opening day here in Cleveland. They did announce that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, going forward, him and Gavin Williams are your 1-2. So I would have thought, like, a young guy like that would have got more money out there. Like, what did Cobb get, like, $15 million a year?
Yeah.
So this guy's only worth $9 million a year? Like, something doesn't add up here. Like, either we got a raw deal or he's just not as good as we think he is.
Well, it also might be the point, Bri, that he's locked up now until 2030. All right. His pitcher's primes are different depending on the pitcher. All right. But he could still go out and get another contract and get a huge payday on that contract, being 30 years old, Bri. If he pitches well here in Cleveland and goes on and he go and get whatever he wants at 30 years old, Bri, he's still got time. I think for him, and this is what I think for a lot of pitchers, and I see it because you throw gas for so long, Bri, you don't know how long that arm's going to hold up. You don't know if you're going to Tommy John surgery, you're going to start having back issues, anything of that nature. Bri, you just guaranteed your family $48 million. All right.
Yeah, right. And the arguments you're making sound like the arguments that I would be fine with you making if he was at the end of this contract going to, like, he's 30 years old and you're telling me, okay, you gotta, and obviously this is $48 million. I mean, the things we would all do for $48 million. So I'm not trying to, like, say poo-poo on, but this is baseball. Pitchers, the best pitchers in baseball live a different life than what we do. So, I'm not trying to scoff at $48 million, but I'm just thinking, like, all the money that gets flying around. There's guys every offseason that make $15, $20 million in the MLB that I've never even heard of before. And I just thought that, man, what's going on here? Either, like I said, he's not as good as, like, and he might turn into like the Cliff Lee or something. And, just, I guess maybe, just taking the security right now. And like you said, the guaranteed 48 mil rather than trying to risk it at all, because that's enough money for him and his family to live very comfortably. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see this year if he's really a top guy.
Let's put in perspective here real quick, Bri. Last year, do you know what he actually pitched on? What salary he was getting paid last year to pitch?
No, I have no idea.
$745,000.
Right.
That was it
About what
for
I
him to
thought.
be
Yeah.
an ace on our team. So for him to go from $745,000 to averaging $9.6 million is a huge jump for a guy. I mean, Brian, would you? I mean, it's almost like betting on yourself. And
This is
yes, a
not
lot of
right.
people
This is not
do.
a conversation about would I take $48 million. This is like if he's really, not even an ace, but like a number two starter. What's the average number two starter on a contending team make? I would think if Cobb
Oh,
got 15 million, I would think 15 to 20 million. And this is a guy who's
yeah.
in his prime, and he's taken not like did we just get the greatest deal ever, or is there maybe some red flags? Like maybe he is starting to have some elbow issues that we don't know about. I'm just trying to
I
concoct in
know.
my mind like a guy
No,
who
you're
just
fine.
we think had a very good season
He
last
did.
year, and he's 25 years old, and all of a sudden he wants to lock up his career for the next 5 years and say, you know what, I'm good with three starting pitcher rotation, pitcher number 3 to 4 money,
Yeah.
rather than
No.
betting on myself and trying to get Shane Bieber money.
Do you know what other great player did that here in Cleveland?
The famous one I remember was Jake Westbrook. I'm
Also,
guessing
hey,
Kluber. I'm guessing Kluber did that too, because
mm-hmm.
if he went out to
Bieber
try to
did.
get big time money, they would be gone because the Guardians would not give them that if they tried to get big money. So, I understand, and sometimes it pays off in Bieber and Kluber's case. Well, really Kluber's case,
Yeah.
but then like I said, Jake Westbrook. I remember us trying to sign him. And they tried to do it with all their superstars. They tried to do it with Lindor, and Lindor's like, no, I'm going to be, I'm going to make 5 times this money when I come to free agency. And he was right. And so I guess
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's a personality thing. This is the only way that the Guardians are going to keep really good players, is you have to sign them a year or two too early and bet on them.
Yeah.
So great move for the team. I don't know if it's a
Yeah.
great move for him in his career, unless he just kind of tanks.
No, hey, Jose Ramirez did it, buddy. Jose left
Yeah,
probably
he's a
200
different
million.
cat.
Yeah, I
Jose
know, but he
Ramirez is a different cat. He
still
he
left
he
$200
said
million
he
on the
wants
table.
right. He wants to be in Cleveland, and that was the only thing that really mattered to him. And you just pay me whatever you feel like paying me. He had no intentions of leaving, really, which is great. Like I said, that's the only way the Guardians are going to keep these superstars, is if they say, "I'll give you a major hometown discount."
Yeah. Other Guardians news, Brian, that came out, I guess, over the weekend. We traded Tyler Freeman, who is our utility guy everywhere, to the Colorado Rockies to bring back Nolan Jones. Is coming back. Now, Nolan Jones is 26 years old, Brian. Tyler Freeman is a little bit older. I believe he is 28 or 29. Let me find out real quick. But we're bringing back a right fielder and giving up a utility player. So I can't argue that. And especially a guy that's been here before. So Tyler Freeman, never mind. He's 25. Holy cow. I thought he was older than that. But they're going to use him as a center fielder. So bringing back Nolan Jones. Nolan Jones for the Rockies. He played here in Cleveland. We traded him to the Rockies to bring in, I think, Juan Brito. Yeah, I know, Bri.
He's my favorite. That's my hottest take I have for, and I don't want to get you off your take too much. That's the hottest take I have. That's my new favorite player, Juan Burrito. We got a guy on our team named Juan Burrito.
It's
Heck yeah,
Brito, not burrito. Burrito.
It's Burrito. It's Burrito. He's Juan Burrito to me. I mean, honestly, what could be better than Juan Burrito?
Oh my God! I wonder if people would just
You know
start
what?
screaming out. Go ahead.
Two burritos.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry. Now I'm a dad. I can make dad jokes.
Yes,
Relax.
So I think what they're doing is they're going off of his last year. So when he played for the Guardians, Bri, he only played 28 games. He batted 244, had 21 hits, 13 RBIs, 10 runs, but his 2023 with the Rockies, man, he batted 297, Bri. Contact hitter. I mean, I'm okay with it because it's going to be John Kinsey Noel and Nolan Jones in right field. So it's going to be kind of a platoon thing. We'll see what we get out of this trade. But, I mean, Bri, with Freeman, yes, I'm going to miss Freeman because Freeman did play a lot of positions. First base, shortstop, third base. He gave everybody some time off. But I think this is kind of the right move to shore up the outfield a little bit because we've been looking for outfielders, Bri. We really have. The infielders we seem to have, the pitching we seem to have. Two things we don't have is a power bat in the outfield and a catcher. So hopefully we get that kind of shored up. I mean, we got a defensive catcher, but, you need one that can kind of hit too because Austin Hedges, yeah, I think I could bat 187. That should be a fun show for us to see if we could actually bat 187.
Oh, there's no chance in hell. We couldn't bat 87. I know that already.
Oh, Bri, I think we
there's there's no chance. You could take a year to train and you couldn't bat 87.
Bri, I think I can.
Sorry, 0.087.
I think I can lay down some bunts. Now, getting on base after laying down those bunts might not happen.
Yeah.
But
you can make contact. You can make contact. Then the third baseman's going to pick it up, make a sandwich, call DoorDash, and then throw you out.
Bri, let's be honest. I wouldn't even get out of the batter's box. I'd trip over my own feet and just lay on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be surprised. Now that we're talking about it, I don't know if you could hit 0.001. I think that would be the bar. Can you get one hit in 1,000 at bats?
I'm telling you what. Oh my God!
I don't think you could. You could.
If Bartolo Colon can hit a home run, I think I could hit a home run.
You couldn't get one hit in 1,000 at bats. Telling you right now. Now you can get beamed by a ball. You can maybe take a walk.
Roger Dorn.
But as far as getting a hit, you're getting thrown out from the outfield. You're gonna have to hit it over the outfielder's head to get a single.
What if I squib one down the line and it's down the left field line? You think I could get on first base then?
Maybe if the third baseman's playing in left field, you might.
You suck.
I'm keeping it real. I'm sorry. I don't know what kind of family. Maybe you've had a few pops and you're feeling good. Now there's other accomplishments in sports you might be able to do, but as far as that goes, could you put wood on the ball? Yeah, you probably could. But then you got to run to first base.
Maybe if the ball hit his belly and bounced to a home run. Damn, Justin.
That's extreme.
Jesus. Man, taking shots over here. You guys are filling me up like Swiss cheese right now. That's some messed up shit. All right, Brian, let's get into March Madness. Congratulations. Michigan made it to the Sweet 16. Who do you guys end up playing?
Auburn, which will be a tough one.
That would definitely be a tough one.
And it's Brian, 9:30 on Friday. I hate these
great time.
10 o'clock. I stayed up Thursday. I took off work on Thursday. And it just so happens Michigan played at 10:10 at night. That's when they started the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm off the whole day. They could play whenever, and they don't start till 10:10. So I was a little pissed about that.
Well, take Friday off too.
Well, I got to give them 30 days notice.
Really?
State Country Club.
Hey, you know what you could always do? You could ship your pants.
I could ship my pants. That's true. Well, I just show up.
That is.
I got to go home.
Move. That's like
I got to go home. I crap my pants.
Just drop one right in your pants and be like, "I got to go home, guys. I got to clean this up."
I got no more pants. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? I'll see you on Monday.
Oh, tools of the trade. Tools of the trade. Brian, what did you think of the first 2 rounds?
I thought I heard today that it was the most watched first couple rounds since like 93 or something like that. Maybe
I think
first
that's
like
because
4 days.
I think
What do
it's
you
because
think?
everybody could bet.
I think it's because a lot of the favorites won. So
That's
everyone's
true.
picks to win it all was
Still
still
in it.
alive. Yeah, like had Florida lost or Auburn lost, or like a lot of these upsets, happen, and you got 12 versus 13 or whatever, people are like, oh, my bracket's busted. I'm not going to watch it or anything like that. But the fact that all the heavy hitters are still alive, I think a lot of people's brackets are still there. So they're going to keep tuning in. And I'm as guilty as anybody. If my brackets go down, yeah, I'll bet $3 or $4 if I feel like it, but I'm not going to make it appointment viewing. So yeah, I think just because all these big teams, with big followings are still alive and everyone's bracket's still kicking a little bit at least.
I do have one beef to pick, Brian. And it's only
Mhm.
because of a bet. And I pulled my family on Sunday because just wanted to say, hey, it was a $2 parlay. That's all it was. Wasn't anything major, but it was pretty much the entire Sunday of picks. All right.
Okay.
My wife, God bless her, picked Colorado State to beat Maryland.
Oh, geez. Well,
And then I seen
that was a good bet.
Maryland.
I had them.
Well, hey, I see Maryland won, and I was like, okay, Maryland won. That's cool. Then I watched the shot. Holy fucking shit, LeBron. Take 6 more steps. How the hell is that not a travel, Bri? Like
Heat in the moment. They're not going to make the call.
he walked it from the 3-point line all the way to the corner, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think either there's some Big Ten bias there or big conference bias, or just the fact that at the end of the game you swallow your whistle unless it's egregious.
My God, I thought it was egregious. How the hell was it not?
On the replay, yeah. I mean, if it was 6 steps, then yeah, you blow it. But it was 3 steps, so you're allowed like.
It's like he
What
cut
do
it
they
in
say?
half.
2.5.
Walked right to the basket.
That'd have been fine if they got eliminated. You get no beef from me.
I'm just being a hater. I just saw it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, that's
Okay.
how they lose. Like, I can understand like a last minute 3, but that's how they lose. Like, come on.
Yeah, is that the only buzzer beater of the tournament so far?
No, they had a couple. What? It wasn't Alabama. There was a couple games that came down to the like.
Yeah, it came down to the wire, but like shot going up as time expires.
Speaking of the guy
there's my guy.
Speaking of the guy who didn't show up for work today, there he is.
Where has he been? What does he say? I didn't see what he said.
Duke will win it all.
Oh, of course. Yeah, wouldn't he beat it? Is he always talking? Can't remember what bandwagon he jumps on as Duke or Kentucky or one of the Blue Buds. Kansas
City. He's a Chiefs fan. He's a Patriots fan. He's a Steelers fan. Yeah.
Anything close to Chicago that's worth a damn. The Bulls have sucked for 30 years, so he doesn't talk about them much.
But hey, we're not getting into that because I don't need Justin firing off too. Oh my God.
Love you, Jose.
All right. Jose, hopefully I see you at work tomorrow because today sucked. All right. Let's get into our Fat Boy Tuesday as soon as I find a clicker, and then we will move on. We'll talk Cavs next week when kind of everything simmers down. Brian, they're slumping a little bit, but I'm not worried.
A 4-game losing streak. Didn't see that coming.
But they won, so they beat Utah.
Oh, the worst team in the NBA.
Doesn't matter. Still win, Bri. It's still
a win. It is a win. You're right.
Stop it. Still win.
And now, it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
All right, Bri, you are the ice cream man. I want to play Van Halen every time I, hear that. All right, so my wife went to Dunkin' Donuts, and we have a Baskin Robbins here, and they
Right.
had like a new flavor out that she was all excited to get. She got it, disappointed her because she didn't get enough, but then she got some sherbet too. Okay, and she goes, "Man, you know, great with this a waffle cone." And Bri, I started thinking, like, is the waffle cone the best cone?
Well, first of all, I don't know if I've ever heard of anybody putting, or seen anybody putting sherbet in a waffle cone. Is
Oh,
that
I've
a
done it
thing?
before. Well, I've done.
Really?
I've had rainbow sherbet in a waffle cone.
In a waffle cone, okay. And then secondly, what was the flavor that you love so much?
It was a new chocolate something something. So, hold on, I'll find it. You keep talking.
Chocolate something something. Is the waffle cone the best cone?
Yeah.
I think variation of the waffle cone is, you get the waffle cone that's dipped in chocolate and then it's got nuts on the outside. I think that's the best cone. I mean, unless you're doing like a fruity flavor, I think if you're doing a fruity flavor, I don't know if chocolate and nuts really go with that. But if you're doing chocolate, vanilla, peanut butter, caramel, any type of those flavors, I think that's the superior cone right there.
Okay. Oh, it's chocolate chip cheesecake, is what it is.
Interesting. Okay.
It actually looks good. As long as it's
Doesn't
not
sound
mint
bad.
chocolate chip, I'm okay.
It's not cookie dough, huh? It's just
No, it's
chocolate chips
chocolate.
and cheesecake bites.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. Hold on. Let me see. Can you take a look at it right there, Bri? I mean, it's not bad. It
Okay.
looks good,
There's
right?
some chocolate. Was that chocolate with it?
Chocolate, cheesecake, and then some other stuff on the inside. What do you think?
Shoot, I'd try it. Yeah.
Okay. And Justin said that's a drumstick. I agree. That is a
Yeah.
drumstick.
No,
Drumsticks
right.
are the best.
Yeah, it is. That's why drumsticks are so popular. The caramel.
Drumsticks are the
The
best.
drumstick with the caramel inside. That's number
No.
one. Yeah.
No.
Oh,
No. You gotta
absolutely.
go with the original on that one.
What are you high? You
Yeah.
gotta evolve. You gotta evolve.
No.
You get the drumstick, which is great, but you got to
Yeah.
put something else in there, like caramel.
Have you tried the one with the fudge on the inside?
I don't think so.
Oh, they have a
I'm
fudge.
guessing it's the same thing as a caramel.
Yeah, it's a fudge on the inside. Like the
Uh-uh.
only thing
No,
I can
maybe that'd be
remember,
better.
and Justin will vouch that we had like a little dairy hut in our town. And the one that I remember the most, Bri, is when they did the chocolate dunk, and it was all soft serve. But you get
hmm
the chocolate dunk, you dunk it in, bring it out. That chocolate is just on the side. But that cone, you get the babyest little cone. The cone's only this damn big, but the
Oh,
top of it's
jeez.
like 6 feet.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Right. Yep.
you're just trying to eat it as fast as you can before it melts all over you.
I know what you're talking about.
Justin says the OG drumstick is the best. So, Brian, you never had a sherbet and a waffle cone, huh?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, if I get sherbet, it's usually in a bowl or one of those like foam cups.
Okay.
Never a cone.
I did forget Justin worked there. Justin did work there, slinging burgers.
Uh
And by the
huh.
way, some of the best burgers there too.
I believe it.
So Brian, I did see today when we went shopping for the waffle cones. Brian, they have waffle cups.
Oh yeah, sure.
I didn't even know they have waffle cups. Like, what is that? So it's just a
Even
waffle
better.
bowl.
It's a bowl. Yeah, it's a bowl. It's a waffle. It's a bowl that you can eat.
God,
Handles has them. They're pretty good.
really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian, if you're going to get a waffle cone, go to ice cream in that waffle cone.
Usually something with peanut butter. Um, peanut butter and vanilla ice cream with peanut butter swirl. vanilla ice cream with peanuts on it. I don't know, like vanilla, peanuts, and maybe some caramel or chocolate.
Dare I say orange sickle?
In a waffle cone? No, I'm telling you, sherbet, anything fruity in a waffle cone doesn't really appeal to me.
All
I'd
right.
rather just eat it out of a bowl.
Yeah, my favorite was always the chocolate vanilla swirl. Get the best of both worlds
Mm-hmm.
and just, go to town. Plus, my wife was being a pain in the ass today, so I told her I hope that those waffle cones are stale.
Oh
And,
my goodness,
oh,
that's hate.
Bri,
That's hate.
it got heated. It got heated today in our house, Bri. And we'll talk about that at another time. We'll do like a little Fatty's family issues. But man, it got heated in this house. Like, not only was I taking daggers here for home run hitting, I was taking daggers in this house, and Bri, I couldn't even come back from it. I just sat and took it. Couldn't even say anything back. Just like I can't argue. I can't fight back on this one. You're on top of the hill, and I'm just taking grenades. I can't. Nothing I could do. Nothing I could do. She's just firing shots from everywhere. Oh,
I'm give you a heads up here. Do I need to go get a charger? I'm at 9%.
nope. We are done with Fat Boy Tuesday. We are going
So
into
you
the
want to do trivia first.
Let's do the trivia first, which is trivia brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. You asked me who is the team with the most championships?
Tournament wins.
Tournament wins.
134
Tournament
all time.
wins. Okay.
Tournament wins.
Dude, I got to go with UCLA, right?
Very good. Yep. I think so. They're number one on this sheet. There was a team that is still alive in the tournament that I think may have passed them. So what do you think that team is?
It's got to be either Duke.
Duke is number 3.
Is Kentucky still in it?
Yeah, there you go. Kentucky. Yep.
Shut
So I think
up.
Kentucky passed them because they won 2 games this year.
Yeah.
And I don't think UNC's victory counts as one because it was like the first 4.
Oh, it was a playing game.
Right.
Justin said mint chocolate chip or homemade bourbon ball. Dude,
yeah, now you're talking.
All right, let's finish out our show, Bri, real quick. We will get into our top 3 and close it out. And Justin said you cannot spell Duke without UK. It's true. Not gonna lie, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian. So top 3 tonight. I've been watching some action movies, Brian. I'm watching some old ones, some new ones. Brian, if you were going to make an action movie, who is going to be your top 3 action stars?
Okay, so you told me this was all time. So
whatever. We can go prime days. We could go older days. However you want to do it.
I'm thinking back to not me growing up. I was a big fan. You know what? I didn't really love. I wasn't a huge fan of Die Hard, but Die Hard with a Vengeance with Samuel L. Jackson. I got to put Bruce Willis at number 3. He just seems like he was in a ton of movies. And then my number 2, one of my favorites is Walking Tall with The Rock. So I got to give some love to The Rock.
Nice. Okay.
At number 2, and then my number 1, he was the action star growing up, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I never really got into the Terminator movies at all, hardly. But he had so many great ones outside of that. Predator was one of my favorites.
All right.
True Lies was unbelievable. I loved True Lies.
Great movie.
And even Kindergarten Cop. He was like an action star in Kindergarten Cop. So he had range, man.
All right. That's a great top 3, Bri. So my number 3, Bri, because I just got on the binge. Number 3, Jackie Chan. I've been watching all the Rush Hour movies. Dude,
Yep.
that man and The Drunken Master, everything. Some great action films that he does. Bri, number 2, going to stay in the same genre. Jet Li. Do you remember Jet Li?
I do. Give me some of his famous movies though.
He was in Lethal Weapon 4. He was
Okay, didn't
also
see
in
that.
Romeo Must Die with DMX.
Oh
He was
yeah, sure.
so he's been in some decent, really good. The One is also a good one that he was in. So Jet Li and Bri, I'm going kind of new school too because I just love what this man's done with his career.
Uh-huh.
Jason Statham.
Huh.
If you don't know Jason Statham, everybody should. The
No, I don't
Transporter.
think I've seen any of his.
He's done The Mechanic. He was Hobbs and Shaw. He was in the Fast and Furious with The Rock and everything else. And I believe Bry's getting ready to die because you went to portrait mode. Sty Stallone, honorable mention. So yeah, some great. Give us some of your guys' great ones. And hit us up. I'm going to remove Bri from here, so you got to look at this face now. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Please give us that like, subscribe, and follow on Illegal Ham in the Face. I'll say it for Bri. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless our troops. We want to thank our troops and first responders for everything you guys do. We love you guys. Cannot thank you enough. And with that being said, we are definitely uncorked, unloaded, and we are out. We'll see you next Tuesday talking Browns, Cavs, Guards, and so much more. See ya.